Hello everybody, my name's Tom and I'm here for an emergency broadcast. This is me trying to understand the pricing for the F1 Fantasy game in 2025. The long and short of it is that Monday night, the developers, either by accident or I assume it's by accident, basically kind of accidentally shared some data, some like testing data, dummy data, however you want to call it, onto the actual F1 website. People in the community took some screen grabs of it, and the F1 Fantasy Tools guys have been working really hard within their community to solve the algorithm, and it's now been solved to 100% accuracy as to what was shared by the developers, like I say, on purpose or by mistake, don't know. But it seems likely that this is the algorithm that's going to be used for this season. Now I say that because we've got 100% accuracy for what came up on the website. I'm going to try in this video to explain how this actually works and then how it might affect my team selection going into the first race in Australia. And literally like, oh my god, FP1 starting in like 3 hours as of the time I'm recording this. It's just a mad scramble to try and understand the game before the first deadline. So I'm going to try and do it in this video and give my thoughts as to how much I believe this is all true and everything basically at the end of the video. But I'll try and explain first of all what is going on. So with this dummy data, this is what we've come up with. On your screen, you've got the sum of the last 3 races divided by, brackets, 3 times the price of the asset. And then you compare that to the points per million, ppm, not pot per man, it's points per million, ppm table, which is below. You've got the A tier and the B tier, and the points per million down the middle. This will become clearer because I'm going to give a couple of examples in a second to hopefully just explain it, like I say, as simply as possible, because it's been hard to understand for me, and I'm going to try now and explain it to you. So hopefully it comes across okay. But yeah, should we just jump straight into the example? Actually, it'll probably be the easiest way to do it, and I'll have to crack out the calculator. So we'll have a look at constructor first of all. So the price, the points and the price change and everything, this has all come from the data that has been collected, screen grabbed on the website when it was leaked for a short period of time Monday night. So this is an example I've pulled up, which is Red Bull. We'll do another example in a minute for one of the drivers, but we're going to have a look at the constructor first. It works the same way for both driver and constructor, which is another reason why I'm a little bit iffy about what's going on there, because the constructors are going to have a really good points per million in general, at least because they basically get double the points of what the drivers get. So why the constructors on the same model, that I don't understand, and this is why I'm not entirely convinced it works. But anyway, let's just go for the example. So in fact, let's crack out the calculator just so I can go through this with you. I know it looks a bit unprofessional dragging this little calculator over here, but we're going to go through it together. Hopefully you can sort of see it all right. Let's do an example. We'll do race week 1. So to work out the price change, okay? So the price at race week 1 is 25.2, sorry. And we're going to use our little formula here, sum of the last 3 races divided by 3 times the price. So we're going to work out 3 times the price. So we do 25.2 times 3. That gives us 76. Sorry, I can't even read the words, the numbers. 75.6. So the sum of the last 3 races divided by 3 times the price. So the last 3 races, we haven't had the last 3 races. So we're going to use the value of 0 to make the formula work as per recommendation from F1 Fantasy Tools. So we're going to do 34, effectively 34 plus 0 plus 0. So it's just 34. So we're going to do 34 divided by 75.6. 34 divided by 75.6 equals 0.44. And we get that figure and we compare it to our little table down here, which is anything greater than 0.4 is a great performance, and therefore for an A tier asset, which is what Red Bull is, we would expect them to go up by 0.3 million, and they do, according to the dummy data that was accidentally shared by the developers. We'll do one more example, then we'll move on to the driver. Let's do let's do the race 2, because it's a slightly different value, a bit more interesting. So again, we do the same thing. We look at our little thingy majiggy, 3 times the price. So 3 times, there's a slightly new price now, it's 25.5 because they've gone up. So we do 3 times 25.5 gives us 76.5. We're going to do the sum of the last 3 races divided by that figure. So the sum of the last 3 races is just 34 plus 0, because we're doing the 3 race average, minus 6. So it's effectively just 34 minus 6, which is obviously 28. So we're going to do 28 divided by 76.5. 28 divided by 76.5 equals 0.36. So 0.3 obviously falls into this category down here when we refer to our table, good, between 0.3 to 0.4. So we would expect A tier asset to go up 0.1. What happens? They go up 0.1. So this is what we mean by like we've cracked the formula. This is what's happening. As to whether this is actually going to happen in reality, I'm still not convinced, but we're going to move on. Do one more example for Hulkenberg. These are again taken from the leaked data. Let's get the calculator back across here. It's exactly the same formula for drivers as it is constructors and everything. So let's just pick, let's just do his 3 race average to kind of round off the complete story here. So again, we look at our little formula, 3 times the price. So we do 3 times his price, and race week 3 is 6.4. So 3 times 6.4 equals 19.2. Then we need to add up his points total across the last 3 races. So it's 9 plus minus 11 plus 9. So basically 9 minus 11, which is minus 2 plus 9 is 7. So we're going to do 7 divided by 19.2. So 7 divided by 19.2 gives us 0.36. We compare that to our little table. It comes as a good points per million in the B tier because he's under 20 million. A good performance gives us a plus 0.2 million rise, and that's exactly again what we see down here, race week 3, the price change 0.2. So this is 100% accuracy, 100% accuracy. The F1 Fantasy Tools guys have worked this out, that this is how it's calculated. Basically, it's quite simple in a way, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of with Gasly on this one. So just a quick summary of what this means. Okay, so 100% accuracy, like I say, from F1 Fantasy Tools, based off this data that's been shared by developers, whether on purpose or not, who knows, probably not. What I glean from this is that basically the higher the price of the asset, the more difficult it is to attain the points per million, because obviously you're doing, if we go back, we're doing this sum, so we're doing 3 times the price. So if it's 3 times a bigger price, then it's harder to get a higher value on the points per million. Therefore, the higher the price, the more difficult it is to attain that. So I'm thinking that doesn't bode well for someone like a high-priced B-tier asset like a Lawson or an Antonelli. It kind of puts me off them a little bit because it means it's harder for them to get the price gain that we want from them, I think. I don't know. It's so difficult, but that's what I'm kind of gleaning from it. Anyway, moving on, we've got race week 1 and race week 2 price drops because they're using this 0 point thing to make up the 3 race average. That's apparently what's going on according to F1 Fantasy Tools guys. So we should see quite a few drivers and constructors just drop price, even if they have like reasonable performances, because they've got this average of scoring 0 for 2 other races. 0-0 plus the Australia race is going to give you quite a low average when you divide that by 3. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. And then from race 3 onwards, we should get a bit of a price boom, or inflation as it's being dubbed, due to the low points per million required. Because again, if you look at the table, let's go back to the very first thing, so it's a bit bigger. You look at the table, the points per million for a great performance is above 0.4. That's really low. That's a really low threshold to get a big price gain. And after we get rid of these first couple of races and we're into the swing of things, we should be seeing consistently big price gains. It feels very fishy to me, which is why right now I'm thinking I'm going to play it safe. I'm probably not play this budget building game until we've got more certainty, because we should have some certainty after the first race or 2 as to whether the developers have got some sort of secret thing up their sleeve. Maybe there's another little tweak or addition to the formula, to the algorithm, which means that what we have right now isn't quite complete and it doesn't make sense, because to me the whole thing just seems a little bit like a bad way of doing it. But then it wouldn't surprise me if the F1 Fantasy developers have just done a bad way of doing it. So we will wait and see, I guess. But my point right now is that if I'm understanding this correctly, which I think I am, I'll be more than happy to be proved wrong in the comments below if this is all completely wrong, but this is how I understand it. But if this is wrong and I've gone down the budget building road or whatever, then it could really hurt me. I don't want to try and build a team one and get left behind because the algorithm was not correct. So I'm thinking more and more that I'll probably just stick with my kind of safer team with like the premium constructors, premium 2 times, something like the Piastri 2 times on top of like a Ferrari Mercedes or maybe a Red Bull or whatever it is. So overall thoughts from this whole pricing headache is just leave it for a couple of weeks. Let's just focus on some points, particularly with the sprint race in China and race week 2. Let's focus on the points, and we'll work out the budget in a couple of weeks' time. Maybe jump onto the B tier assets from race week 3 or 4 onwards, when we know with a higher degree of certainty what on earth is going on. So hopefully this video has made sense. I know it's very last minute. I wasn't even going to do a video tonight, but I have to try and understand this. And now I think I understand it. Let's try and share it with you to make sure you can fact check me, tell me if this is right. And also if you don't have a clue what's going on, hopefully it's been helpful. So thanks very much. I'm going to upload this and go to bed and then wake up in about 5 hours because I want to watch FP2 and then do my final thoughts video. So I'll see you again in a few hours. So thanks very much for watching. Do subscribe and like, and I'll catch you very, very, very soon. Bye for now.